Hello, fellow Minnesotans. I'm your Congressman, Tom Emmer. I hope you're all having a productive and prosperous month of March. What a great month. For those of you who love the changing seasons that make our state so unique and wonderful, don't forget, this Sunday is the first official day of spring. Of course, we're all still trying to recover the hour we lost last weekend to daylight savings time. But March is not just about the days getting longer and summer getting closer. March is Women's History Month. This is a month to celebrate the many women who have left their mark and changed our nation for the better. Just take a second to think about how far we have come in this nation. While there's still much work to do, think about it. Today, many take for granted the fact that women have the right to vote and run for elected office. Incredibly, and unfortunately, it hasn't always been this way. During Women's History Month, we recognize the significance of the contribution that women across the United States have made to our country, and we recognize how important these women have been to create opportunities not only for the women of today, but for the women of tomorrow. As I try to contemplate what this country was like less than 100 years ago and where we are today, I can't imagine how we could have achieved so much in such a short period of the world's history without the important and significant contributions of the great women in our history. I often think about my sister Bridget, who left us way too early. When we were kids, we were equals. In fact, truth be told, Bridget was much smarter and more fun than I could ever pretend to be. But we didn't have an equal opportunity when it came to activities. Bridget and I were both athletic, but back then, and we're only talking about 30 or 40 years ago, I had opportunities to play all kinds of high school and college sports. Bridget, not so much. Today, however, young women compete not just in the classroom and in the boardroom, they compete in every activity we can imagine. Just look at our Minnesota State High School Girls Hockey State Tournament, or the State Girls Basketball Tournament, or women's hockey and basketball at the college level. And those are just a couple of examples. Think about the women that have led the way to give young women like my daughter Katie opportunities that my sister Bridget never had. Women like Jackie Joyner-Kersee, the U.S. track and field star who competed in 4 Summer Olympics from 1984 to 1996. Joyner-Kersee is often referred to as the First Lady of American Athletics. Or Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. And we should even think about the 119 women who joined the Corps of Cadets, establishing the first class of females at the United States Military Academy at West Point in just 1976. Today, so much has changed for the better. Just look at some of the trailblazing women in Congress. The Republican Conference Chair, Kathy McMorris Rodgers from the state of Washington, who is the highest-ranking Republican woman in Congress. Or Elise Stefanik from New York, who's the youngest woman ever to be elected to Congress. Or Martha McSally from Arizona, who's the first woman to fly in combat. Or Ileana Ross-Layton from Florida, who is the first Hispanic Congresswoman. And there's Mia Love from Utah, the first African-American Republican ever elected to the United States House of Representatives. And let's not forget our fellow Minnesotan, Amy Klobuchar, who is the first woman to be elected to the United States Senate from our great state. In a time where many of these women's achievements are recognized as the first of their kind, these outstanding individuals have laid the groundwork to ensure they will not be the last. These women and many others are creating policies that shape our nation, leaving their mark not only on women's history, but on American history as a whole. I'm proud to know these women and to thank them and all the women in elected office for paving the way for the next generation of young women. And we must not forget the women who have made the sacrifice to devote themselves to motherhood. Without them, we would not be able to recognize the great strides and achievements that have been made by women all across this great nation. Thank you, and happy Women's History Month.